I don't want to bring up the old stuff, but when I was 5, I asked for a bicycle, and I never got that bicycle. But, hey, I know you're out giving toys around to all the kids of the world. Greetings, Red Tie community. It's the ball guy in the red tie, and I have a very special guest today. We're coming into the holiday season, and I know just about everybody. In fact, I know the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Santa Claus.
Well, John, how are you?
I'm doing good.
I do apologize about that on the 5th birthday, but I did bring something to replace it.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah, because I brought the perfect thing for you.
Oh, thanks. Does this mean I'm on the naughty list?
You figure it out.
Early delivery. Thanks, Santa. Man, welcome to the show, Santa Claus.
Thank you. I tell you what, let me tell you a little story about coal.
Okay.
See, everybody thinks coal is for naughty children.
Right.
Originally, the way it started out was that it was for children who were not very rich, didn't have much, and it was cold in the winter. So Santa would leave them coal to help them warm their house.
Oh, I haven't heard that story.
And what was given to them for being naughty was a switch. Do you know what a switch is?
It's generations past, but that's what they used to, yeah.
Yeah. And nowadays, the coal is now pertaining for the naughty children.
Interesting. Well, I've gotten a lot of coal from you over the years. So.
Yes, I know.
Yeah. So let's speak of the naughty and the good list. How do you get on the naughty list?
Well, you really have to do things that are really bad. You disobey your parents, not clean your room, things like that. Fighting with each other, throwing punches and all that. Arguing is no problem. I don't have a problem with arguing. But no punch throwing, none of that. In fact, I had a good little story about that several years ago. I had 2 little boys come to sit on my lap. One was 6 and one was 4. And they were good kids, except the 6-year-old looked at me and he goes, "Are you really Santa?" So what would make you think I'm really Santa? You got to have a real beard. Really? Well, what I suggest you do is grab a whole bunch and give it a good tug. Okay. He reached up, grabbed a big handful, tugged on it. Oh, ow, oh. His eyes went, leaned over to his brother and go, "It's really him." So, but that was a great little one. But the following to that was that I'd asked them what they wanted for Christmas. And the older one told me 3 different things he wanted. And I went, "Oh, okay, that's really nice." And I asked the 4-year-old, "What would you like for Christmas?" Told me exact same thing, the same 3 things that the older one asked for.
Yeah.
And his older brother goes, "That's what I asked for," and smacked him in the shoulder.
Sounds like brothers.
And I'm going, "Did you just hit your brother on Santa's lap?" The look of sheer terror on his face. I wish I had a picture of that. And I said, "Now, I understand you can argue. Arguing's no problem. You can argue all you want. Just don't go too crazy with it. And no hitting. That will put you right on the naughty list. You want to be on the naughty list right now?" "No." I said, "Okay. No hitting, right?" He goes, "Yeah." And I looked at the 4-year-old and I said, "That goes for you too."
He straightened up.
Yeah, and the mom was standing over there going.
So, we're coming into the holiday season.
Yes.
This is your prime time.
Mm-hmm.
This is the time that you're super busy.
Yep.
Where are you going to be at this year?
Well, actually, for the children, I'm going to be at the Temecula Town Center. We're going to be our own little place that we've been in for the last 2 years called Santa Town. And Santa Town is a little different than what you'd ever find at a mall or just about any place else, because the children can come in, go to Santa's post office, and write a letter to Santa. And there's a mailbox there, Santa's Mail, that they can mail it right there.
That's awesome.
So that's really nice. Then we also have where they can color little ornaments on paper. And they can either, when they get done, they can either take them home, put them on their tree, or they can hang it on our tree there. So they have that. That's another little activity that they can do. This year, this is the first time we're going to have movies, Christmas movies, playing in a little room. So they can watch Christmas movies.
That's so cool.
Oh, but then we have the cornhole game.
Cornhole game at Santa's workshop?
Well, we got
Santa Town?
You got Santa against the elves. The elves have lost over 400,000 games to Santa.
It's kind of unfair.
Yeah, but they're little guys.
They're closer to the hole.
Yeah,
So they should win.
they should. You'd
Yeah,
think.
You would think.
Yeah, but Santa's a little better than that.
Man. So when are you going to start being at the Temecula Town Center?
Well, we start November 22nd. That is Santa's arrival. That will be from 6 till 8. And we'll have some activities going and things like that. And people, I'll be wandering around intermixing with the people, and they can take all the pictures they want with their cameras.
Very cool.
And then starting Saturday, the 23rd, I will be sitting on my bench for the photographer and be able to have pictures with their children.
That is awesome.
I even get adults.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So it doesn't bother you if the adults want a picture?
No.
Yeah. How many people have you had come through that place? I know you were at a different place before the Temecula Town Center, but do you guys keep a tally on how many kids come through?
Yes, they do. They never tell me because it would shock me.
Right.
We do get several hundred a day.
A day.
A day.
Wow.
And when I was at the other place, the lines got a little ridiculous. Towards the end of the season, the last week, the lines would get from 4 to 6 hours long.
Wow. For wait?
And people waited.
You're a popular dude.
I love the children. That's the big thing.
Yeah.
Because you have to love the children.
Yeah.
And if you don't love the children, then you're not going to get a great picture. You're not going to have good times with the kids. They're not going to have great memories. And that's the whole thing, is to have the great memories.
Yeah.
So, and just, having the kids come up, sit on my lap, because there's a lot of, guys out there that are Santa helpers, and they get the child on their lap, and, well, hi, how are you? Are you being good? Yeah, okay, well, great. Now, look, what do you want for Christmas? Oh, okay, great. Now, see the camera over there? Smile, click, and they're done.
Yeah.
I talk to the children.
Yeah.
I ask them how they're doing. I will ask them, oh, how are you doing in school? Do you like school? Do you have a lot of friends? And what I really like a lot is when I get a 4-year-old little girl.
Mm-hmm.
So, you having a good time in school? Yeah, I mean, at home and all that? Well, yeah. So how many boyfriends do you have? And I get the strangest looks. Every once in a while, though, I'll have one come up and say, I got 2.
They just know it.
Oh, yeah. And the mom goes, yeah, she does.
So with that many people on your lap telling you their stories and stuff like that, is there one that sticks out? I mean, I'm sure there's hundreds, but are there any?
There is one still gets me. Happened several years ago. These people, they brought up this little tiny baby. Literally, the rear end was in this hand, the head was in this hand. They were that far apart.
Wow.
And she was kind of yellow, and everything. And, and I'm sitting there and I'm going, is she going to be okay? And they said, well, no, we'll tell you afterwards. So we had some great pictures of her and everything else. And then afterwards, the parents told me that the little baby was not supposed to be born alive.
Wow.
And came out alive. And she was 3 days old when they brought her to me. They said, we had to get a picture of you when we saw you at the mall.
Wow.
And I have that picture.
Do you?
Yeah. It's in my memory book.
That's beautiful.
And have the letter from them and everything else. And that one still gets me. I'm sorry.
Understandably so. I mean, Santa Claus holds a special place in so many people's minds, hearts, and imaginations. And it's a time that families come together
Yes.
and share gifts and share. And, I think society gets away from that. And so I'm so glad that you're always here every year to remind us that it's about sharing and caring and giving back.
And I do love Temecula. I really like it a lot. Yeah. Yeah. Because what's weird is that sometimes I do wander around to some of the stores here in Temecula and people go, Santa. That's a little different.
Yeah.
And I'm not dressed like Santa. I don't even wear a red shirt.
Well, I've heard that the North Pole's kind of cold all the time. So
Yeah,
is
a
this
little
like your
bit.
winter home kind of
Well,
thing?
actually, I like Temecula so much, I actually have a home here.
Oh, nice.
So that's why people see me in town.
Hmm.
And I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
And have a lot of fun, like having a lot of fun with the children. And, I'll see that I happen every once in a great while, I'll go in a store and here's a little child crying.
Mm.
I'll go up to them and say, well, what's wrong? And they stop and look at me.
They just know, huh?
They just know. And usually they're 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And the mom will go, she stopped crying. I said, well, that's because I'm here. Are you Santa? That's for you to determine.
Yeah.
You know.
How long have you been doing this locally?
Locally,
Mm-hmm.
8 years.
Wow.
I have families here that I am the only Santa their children have ever seen.
Well, they got one of the good ones. Probably the best ever.
I enjoy it. My chiropractor that I go to once in a while, because putting the stuff on the reindeer and all that, it gets a little hectic. So my chiropractor, he is bringing his grandchildren. I am the only Santa that their grandchildren has ever seen, and he's got 3 of them now.
Yeah, that's
No,
so
I
cool.
take that back. He's got 4. So I'm going to see all 4 of them this year.
So what's it? What are some of the funny things that kids ask for? Like they all ask for bikes or the BB gun.
The thing I always used to like was the little 3-year-old wants a new iPhone, new iPad. Some of those things. And then I had one little boy who says, "Yeah, I want a 45 Colt." 45 Colt? You don't want the beer, right?
Yeah.
No. It's a 45 Colt. Are you talking about a gun? He goes, yeah.
Tell me, he'll shoot his eye out.
Well, I did tell him that. But, I told him, I said, something like that, your daddy has to be involved.
Yeah.
Not just to give you, here's a 45 Colt. Don't do that. Of course, I get a lot of them asking for the Red Ryder BB gun. And, you'll shoot your eye out.
Yeah.
In fact, I have one little boy that comes to me, and he comes to me every year. Looks like the boy from Christmas Story.
Oh, the little blonde-haired kid?
Yeah, looks exactly like him. And he comes to me every year. First thing, I want a Red Ryder BB gun. You'll shoot your eye out. So that's the little stick that he and I have every year.
So you remember a lot of these kids?
Oh, yeah. I try to because, the biggest thing is for them to have a good memory, of being with Santa. And, I will get children that are crying. All of a sudden they don't. In fact, I have something. I have my little portfolio here. This is one I really like a lot.
Is that Jet?
That's the same kid screaming.
Oh, and then you're
happy.
Screaming. Yeah. Here. There we go. Screaming and happy.
Yeah. And the thing is, people say that, I get adults that want to sit on Santa's lap.
Yeah.
And some people say, okay, well, fine, and you get a lot of adults sitting on Santa's lap. But then I have a few, I don't want to sit on Santa's lap. I'm too big.
Guy's a solid.
That's
280?
that Bubba. No, he's not 280.
No?
Nah. He's 6'5", 350 pounds.
Woo!
That Bubba.
So is that your biggest kid?
As far as I know. And then you're never too old. This lady here in this picture,
Yeah.
she's 100.5 years old.
Wow.
Here she's 101.5 years old.
Wow.
Here she's 102.5 years old.
She comes every year, huh?
Used to.
Oh.
She didn't make it to 103.
Oh, well, jeez, that's incredible.
The family came to me last year to let me know.
Wow.
And they were shocked that I had these pictures.
Yeah.
So, and then here I am, because a lot of Santas say, I've held twins, I've held triplets, I've held quads.
Quadruplets.
So, holding a set of quads.
Man. So, being Santa Claus, what a special, special thing. How does that come about?
Well, it's a joyous thing for me because I love the kids.
Mm-hmm.
And, when I found that when you get a little bit up there in age, everything starts turning gray. And I've always liked kids. I've coached football and did all kinds of stuff. And a friend of mine, his name's Gordon Bailey, great guy. He now lives in Springfield, Missouri. He used to live out in Southern California. But he's the one that came up to me 11 years ago. Said, "You ever think about being Santa?" Santa? You got to be kidding. Have all those kids crawling all over me? Not on your life. Then we got into a little more discussion, and I said, okay. And he set me up with another gentleman by the name of Tim Conahan. He's known worldwide. He is also the Santa for the National Toys for Tots with the Marines.
Wow.
And Gordon has been a Santa for 32 years. Tim Conahan's been a Santa for 40-some years. So I feel like a neophyte compared to these guys.
You're just a rookie, huh?
But they're the ones that mentor me.
Yeah.
And tell me how to do things and everything else. And the thing that got one of them kind of upset because I do better than what he does.
Uh-oh. What's that? The ho-ho-ho?
Kinda.
Yeah.
And a few other things.
So do Santas, like, have some pride to, like, who has the best ho-ho-ho?
I've never seen that. I know quite a few, probably know about 300 guys that portray.
Mm-hmm.
And really like them a lot. They're really good people. There are meetings.
Santas have meetings, huh?
Santa-type meetings.
Wow.
And we get together and all kinds. There's a big gathering in Gatlinburg, Missouri.
Do you go to that?
No, I don't. I have never been to it.
Yeah.
But they get like about 1,000 Santas there.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's got to be quite the scene.
Mystifies the children.
Yeah.
Which one's really? He's really here. Just guess which one.
Well, so what is, one of the strangest things that people have asked you, or a kid or whatever? Like things that, do they have questions about Santa Claus, or what's the common?
The one thing is that Santa can never bring back the dead. Cannot do things like that. But I do have several times where a child has asked me, can you bring my dad back from Afghanistan or from Iraq or whatever? And I sit there and I see what I can do. And magically the dad appears off to my side, and the child and family go absolutely nuts.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Actually had that filmed on ABC one time.
Which we would love to show you, but ABC loves their copyrights. So, but that was a great video, man.
It was.
And that kid will never forget that. I guarantee you that.
In fact, they came by to see me the following 2 years.
Yeah.
So I keep seeing them. I keep seeing people over and over and over every year. And virtually it's like every day I'll get anywhere from 10 to 15 people saying, "You're the only Santa my children have ever seen."
That's awesome.
So love that.
Yeah, that's cool.
Really enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. And they can't understand how I can be up in the morning and still be the same up when we close.
Well, I don't know how you do it either. It's got to wear on you, I would think, but you always have that holiday joy.
The thing is that there have been a couple of seasons where we get to the end of the season. It's the last day, and we're getting ready to shut down the set and everything. And the set manager goes, "Well, what'd you think?" "I'd like it to continue a little longer." Mm-hmm. And she says, "Yeah, I know. We had a good time this year." So it's we get people that are at the set working, the helpers and that kind of stuff, that truly get into enjoying what they're doing. And because I think that they feed off a little bit of me. Mm-hmm. And, you just tell them, hey, have a good time. Keep a smile on your face. That's all there is.
Why is Christmas so magical?
Well, not to get overly religious, but you do know what the day is for.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things I believe in also. And, because I've had children come up, not children, but teenagers, come up to the side and say, "Do you know what this day is for?" I say, "Exactly. It's for the birth of Christ." And they just look at me like, Oh, he knows.
They're trying to get you.
Well, do you know what my other names are?
What?
Santa Claus,
Yeah.
Saint Nick,
Okay.
Saint Nick. Tell you anything?
Yeah.
You ever heard the story of how Saint Nicholas came about?
No.
Nicholas, young boy back in Greece, about 1,800 years ago. His family was very, very wealthy, and they had left him at a monastery to take care of him while they went on a sailing trip. Unfortunately, the ship sank, and he lost both his mother and father. So he was raised in this Catholic monastery, and that's how he was raised. And he became a priest, getting along, became a bishop, and he used to help people. Even when he was young, he would see other children, because he had money, and he would see other children that didn't have anything. So he would go buy sandals or a robe or a scarf and leave it on their porch for them on Christmas Eve.
Wow.
And that's how it all started. Then the thing came about with the going down the chimney and all that, because the children would have their socks hung by the fire. That was originally for the Santa to put the coal in to keep them warm.
Yeah.
Then they started leaving coins in it. And that's how it all started. And then he, developed such a following and everything else that he became, after he passed away, he became canonized, became a saint. So he became Saint Nicholas.
Interesting.
But his figure lived on and came to the point where I am today. And that's where I really see as far as being Santa. It's not just a guy putting on a suit. That doesn't work. You have to be able to love the children, love life, and love everything that's going on.
Mm. That is magical.
Yeah, I like it. Besides, the reindeer are crazy.
Let's talk about reindeer. Which one's your favorite?
Well, everybody thinks Rudolph is my favorite. I still have a fancy the Prancer. He and I both like the same candy bars.
Which is what?
We both like Paydays. Zagnuts.
Yeah.
Of course, most people don't know what a Zagnut is nowadays. But
What's your favorite type of cookie?
well, everybody believes Santa loves chocolate chip cookies. Don't get me wrong; those are good. My most favorite?
Yeah.
Old-fashioned oatmeal, no raisins.
You heard it here first, kids. If you want to get on the good list, what is it? Old-fashioned oatmeal, no raisin.
No raisins.
There you go, kids. There you go.
Great cookie. I even, kids will ask me that, and the dad will be standing by, and the dad's going, "Oh yeah."
He knows what it is.
Oh yeah. So do I.
So how do you get to every house in a night?
Well, Santa does have a magical clock, let's say, that actually slows time down for him. He doesn't slow down, but everybody else does.
Interesting. So that's the secret, huh?
That's a secret.
And so what is this, the chain here for?
This little key. What do you think it's for?
Starting the sleigh. No?
Where would Santa put the key? There's no engine. Just 8 tiny reindeer.
Probably don't want to put a key in there.
No. And it's not for the shop, but it's for the thing. Well, let me ask you a question. Do you have a house with a fireplace and a chimney?
I do.
There are some children that do not, especially if they live in apartments and things like that. They don't have a fireplace. They don't have a chimney. So this is Santa's magic key to allow him to be able to get into the house to be able to leave the presents.
Ah. It's the master lock key, huh?
Yeah, but the thing is, it only works on Christmas Eve and only works for Santa.
It's good to know. So how do you get down the chimney?
Well, that's been kind of known for a long time. All I do is I have to touch the size of my nose. I shrink down, go down the chimney. These chimneys are getting smaller. I don't know if you've noticed or not. Santa doesn't have the big giant belly anymore.
Yeah, you're getting slim and trim.
Yeah, become what they call a fit Santa. The reason being is that the reason I've done that is to help other children who have eating disorders, diabetes, overweight, all that kind of stuff, so that Santa portrays a more positive image to them.
That's cool.
So,
That is neat. What is something that you wish parents knew about coming to visit Santa?
let their kids be themselves.
Even if they're running amok?
If they're running amok, but the thing is, are they really going to run amok in front of Santa? Think about that.
Yeah. So just being in your presence brings in some
Positive vibes for 'em.
positive vibes. That's a good way to put it.
But, I'll have the kids sit on my lap and everything. And the mom wants to sit on Santa's lap. I've had several that say, is there a Mrs. Claus? Of course there's a Mrs. Claus.
Haven't you read the book? Jeez.
Yeah. And that's another thing, because I do visit some children every now and then, and at their homes, and I'll read them a story. And one of the most sought after stories I read them was The Night Before Christmas, except I read it my way.
How's that?
Oh, I stop and do some, say some things like, and Mom in her kerchief, do you know what a kerchief is? Most people don't know what a kerchief is. It's what they put on their hair to keep their hair in shape while they sleep.
Interesting.
And then comes the part with Santa's, the whiffs of smoke going around and everything else. Santa gave up the pipe many years ago because it wasn't good for him. And Mrs. Claus said, you stink like tobacco. So I haven't had the pipe in a long, long time.
So Santa is healthy and no longer smokes pipes. It's amazing what this world does.
Yeah. Well, one of the questions I always get asked is, Santa, how old are you?
Yeah, how old are you?
How old is Santa?
Yeah.
1,876 years old.
Wow.
Look pretty good, don't it?
Yeah, you look really good.
But, that's how old Santa is. And Santa in America, they copy the look that from the late 1800s to the early 1900s of Mr. Nast. And that's where he first appeared in this type of a suit.
Interesting. So what other kind of like backstories do people not know about Santa?
Well,
I didn't know about the 1876.
Yeah, well, that's actually, the story on Santa. I do have a book at home.
Mm-hmm.
It's the autobiography of Santa Claus and how he got people to help him build the toys and all that. Like Leonardo da Vinci, he got the sleigh to fly. And then Genghis Khan, Caesar, people like that. They actually wanted to start doing good, and so they went to help making toys and stuff for Santa.
It's all part of the plan, huh?
All part of the plan.
That is awesome. Man. Well, do you have some special days coming up after Thanksgiving?
Yeah, after Thanksgiving, we do have a couple of days. We have some pet days, which will be on the website. Also, we have a couple of days for special needs children. And they can bring them in for about an hour. I believe it's the Sunday after Thanksgiving and the second or third Sunday after, or in December. And what it is, it's an hour that we have just the special needs children coming in, so I can spend more time with them. Because I think, they're still God's children. And I really like being around them and hopefully making them laugh, because I had one, again, several years ago. There was a young man in a wheelchair, and he was 26 years old, but he had the mind of like a 4 or 5-year-old. And the dad told me that he never laughs. He never smiles. And instead of sitting in my throne with him in his wheelchair next to me, I got out of the throne and kneeled down next to him, talking to him and holding his hand. All of a sudden, he started to smile and laugh. The dad was in tears because he's never done that.
Wow.
And it made me feel really good to be able to do something like that to a child. And because, he's still one of my children. Yeah. And I treat them all the same way, whether they're all there or not. I had one little man last year. He did not really like being on Santa's lap, and I was holding him, and all of a sudden he stretched out. We have a picture of him. We call him Superman.
Trying to get
out
out of
straight that way, hands are out that way, screaming his head off. But it was fun. We got them relaxed down and everything else because I do have a little bit of a knack to take children from being afraid of Santa to getting a hug before they leave.
Wow.
Love that. And it just amazes the parents. How did you do that? I talked to them. I talk to them doesn't do any good. That's because you talk to him like an adult. You got to talk to him like a kid. That's what he is. And you treat him that way. And it's very important because when you talk to them like an adult, they really don't understand everything that you're saying. But you talk to them on their level, they'll understand everything. Why do you think I can calm a kid down in about 30 seconds? I had another little boy. His sister was on my lap and asked what she wanted for Christmas, got pictures and everything else. And just before I set her down, I said, well, who's that young man over there by the stand? She said, oh, that's my brother. I said, how old is he? About 12? Yeah, he thinks he doesn't believe anymore. Really? Huh. Interesting. So I set her down. I looked directly at him, and I'm going, no, you. I said, come up here. And he kind of shuffled over. And I said, you can stand right there. You don't have to sit on my lap. Okay. And I said, now I understand a little bit from your sister that you may not believe anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, the kids at school and they say things and everything else. I said, well, that's all fine. That's not a problem. Because the thing is, whether or not you believe doesn't matter. But it doesn't matter. It's what you believe, what you have in your heart. Because this is the season of giving, right? Well, yeah. If you keep that in your heart at all times, like you do God or Jesus. Now, Santa's not God or Jesus. No way.
Yeah.
But you keep that gift of giving in your heart at all times, you'll live a lot better. And so the grandpa had brought him, so they left. And I had another kid on my lap and everything else. Well, I see the grandpa come back at the exit. I was kind of glanced over and had, the kid and put the child down. And the grandpa comes walking over to me and goes, what in the world did you say to him? I said, why? For the past year, we've been trying to do the exact same thing. You did it in like 30 seconds. You have to know how to talk to a child.
That's the Santa magic.
And I love kids, so.
That's awesome. Well, Santa, any final words for the kids that will soon be seeing you? And
be good. Clean your room. Paint the house. Mow the lawn. That's with 4-year-olds.
And leave oatmeal
cookies.
With no raisins.
Yeah. Chocolate chip are okay. I mean, even Chips Ahoy. Well, I can't say that. But I do like milk. So I've had a few that had out the tacos and the tequila, but
I've seen that on Facebook too. I know what Santa really wants. Yeah. Well, Santa, thank you so much for being a part of this community, for giving back, for making the magic happen, and sharing the gift of giving. Because it's amazing.
I thank you. You have a great show. I have watched many of them now.
Well, thank you.
And you do a good service for the community, and that's what's really great about it. Because I'm not looking to get into all kinds of other things, and I like being in Temecula. I like Temecula.
Yeah. So
anyway, thank you.
So am I going to be on the nice list then?
Or
am I just going to be good with this lump of coal? Yeah. Well, Santa, thank you so much. I hope you have a great Christmas season. Folks, if you'd like to see Santa in person, make sure you go check him out in the Temecula Town Center a little bit after Thanksgiving, right?
No, actually, the weekend before.
Weekend before Thanksgiving is when all the festivities will kick off, so make sure you go see him and bring some cookies, draw some pictures, mail it off at the Santa post office there.
You can also make reservations to see Santa going to TemeculaSanta.com. Oh, no, TemeculaSanta.com.
See, Santa even has a website now, so there you go. He's pretty high-tech and advanced.
Even have an Instagram, Temecula Santa.
Temecula Santa on Instagram. Gee, Santa, you are plugged in and good to go, man.
I have elves that show me how to do that.
Yeah, little tech elves. That's good. And that's it for this episode of the Red Tie Community Show with Santa Claus and the bald guy in the red tie saying, see you in escrow or in a chimney. Bye. Bye.